Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from Renaissance Bank, inside Renaissance Bank, on South Main Street in beautiful Alpharetta. If you are looking for the best bank in Georgia, as voted on in Time Magazine's Money.com, well, we're sitting in that bank. Yes, Renaissance Bank has been voted best bank in Georgia, not only in that poll, but several others as well. And I think they have received that accolade because of the great service that they offer. I know that personally myself, for me and the clients that I work with. So if you are looking for a better experience from your bank, well, go to renaissancebank.com, find their local office, and give them a call. I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth is from Tower Roofing. Elizabeth, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, excited to have you here. Let's talk about you and Tower Roofing. How are you serving folks out there? Something tells me it has something to do with roofing.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Well, at Tower, I'm the Director of Business Development and Marketing. Tower is a local roofing company. We've been around Atlanta, serving all over for about 36 years now. We do everything roofing-wise, from residential, commercial, multifamily. We love repairs and damages, even skylight installations and replacements. There's a lot of other things that we do, and all of that is listed on our website as well.
You do a little bit of everything, sounds like. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So before we get into some of those things, let's talk about you. You've got an interesting journey.
Yes.
And you're a young person that no one would expect when they ask what you do. I don't think they'd expect to hear roofing, right?
Yeah, right. I'm kind of breaking the stereotypes here.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm originally from Columbus, Georgia, which our founder, Joe Mitchell, is also from Columbus as well. So that's a little fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually went to college for fashion and fashion business. I went to the #1 fashion school, the Fashion Institute of Technology in the world in Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
So I was doing some of, fashion side of things, but kind of like a lot of people recently, this lovely pandemic has thrown me some nice curveballs, but I didn't let it knock me down. I got back up. And I have a common denominator in business development and marketing across the board, even with fashion. So I was able to implement that here at my current role with Tower Roofing, and it's been fun being able to learn a whole new industry. It was very new to me. Didn't know anything about roofing, but now I have a good understanding about things. So,
good for you. Yeah. I'm curious what you've learned about the roofing industry that has surprised you.
The way that roofing systems and roofs are constructed and the differences between residential and flat commercial roofs, there is so much that goes into it that I had absolutely no idea about till I started here.
Right. Yeah. Which is why you need to hire Tower Roofing to navigate
exactly
those complications. Let's talk about the residential side of things.
Sure.
So, and maybe we can start with repairs. How do I know I need, beyond the fact that I've got a leak in my roof?
Yeah.
How do I know that I might need some repairs done on my roof because I don't go up on my roof?
Yeah. So some easy signs are seeing, shingles out in the yard, but also if you just go around your house and look at your ceilings, especially in closets and laundry rooms, because those are forgotten places a lot. If you see any leakage, of course, we would need to come out and take a look at it. That's one of our common questions is, does somebody need to be home when there's a leak? And yes, because we want to come in and see the area. But from there, we'll normally go to the attic if it's safe, because that's normally where the leak is coming from. Sometimes it's safe for us to get on the roof. but other times it's not. So we use high definition drones actually to kind of see that visual damage for you and kind of let you know what's going on up there.
Oh, wow. And I assume just because you see the leak, let's say in the ceiling of the bathroom, the actual source of the leak may be someplace else, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we just kind of have to get in there and see and figure where it's coming from.
Right. So how do I know we've talked about repairs. How do I know when I need to replace my roof entirely? What's the life of a roof?
Well, that can kind of depend on the materials that you're using, and whether it's a shingle roof or a flat roof. Typically you can get, 15-ish years out of your roof. But that also depends on, like I said, the products that you use on your roof as well. So like flashings, for instance, on your roof can last somewhere from 7 to 10 years, depending on the products that you use. But for fully replacing your roof, the damage and the wear and tear on it is just completely gone, that there's no replacing things there. And I'm sure that there are a few other small details with the replacing the roof that our estimators are good at telling people about. But yeah.
Okay. And you clean roofs as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that may be news to some folks on why they would need to clean their roof.
Yeah.
How does that work, and how often should it be done?
Yeah, so when we clean roofs, we do gutter cleaning as well and some roof maintenance for you. Mm-hmm. We want to, make the most of our trip going out there so it benefits you and us at the same time. So a lot of misconceptions, if you will, with roof cleaning is, do you pressure wash your roof? No, please do not put a pressure washer to your shingles. That's just damaging them and they're fall and come out. Mm-hmm. But when we do it, we use a 50-50 solution, and we don't use any harsh chemicals, of course, on the roof. With gutter cleaning, we typically do that and the roof maintenance and all this twice a year. Usually, it's a good time after all the fall leaves have fallen and are clogging your gutters, because you have that and twigs and of that such. And if you have that and then you have water buildup, the gutter can potentially come off of the roof and start, leaning outwards. And when that happens, because water's, a couple pounds in it, what is it? It weighs like 8 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember the square footage of it, but
right.
Water weighs a lot, as we know. And so it causes it to wean off. Then water goes behind the gutter and can cause issues with your fascia boards, and then can potentially come off. So getting those cleaned is needed.
Right.
We've also seen issues with downspouts and things coming back up gutters, so they need to be doing their job properly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Folks, we're here chatting with Elizabeth Warren, and she is with Tower Roofing. So do you install gutters for people that need that done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can also replace them. We've had gutters falling off before that we go out there and just put them back on for them.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And I assume the maintenance that you do, part of that is checking the gutters and cleaning the gutters. That includes all that together, right? Yeah.
And checking the shingles. If the roof was put on by another roofing company, most roofing companies use just a nail for the shingles, and something that kind of allows us to stand out is we use a rubber washer and a screw. So that just kind of reinforces the shingles lifespan there, because it's going to stay in. Because over time, yes, a nail is good, but over time it can come back out, one can get under the shingle and rip all of that out. A rubber and a screw, that shingle's not going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And the maintenance work that you do you, I assume that folks sign up for some sort of regular maintenance, correct?
Yeah, they can. Or if they are seeing that their, gutters and roof has a lot of debris on it, they can call us out and we'll go up there and see what's going on.
Sure. So how often should that maintenance occur? Is it twice a year, once a year? How often?
Yeah, usually twice a year is fine. Anything more than that, it's not needed. We recommend twice a year though.
Gotcha. Okay. So you often have, I would imagine, some issues with roof vents.
Yes.
Talk about roof vents and how that all works in terms of navigating installing a new roof.
Sure. Yeah. So roof vents is another very common question that we get. It's very important that you have the right and the same roof vent or type of roof vent because they're split into two halves, right? So the first half is at the eaves of the roof, and so this is the intake, and the other half is near the peak of the roof, so your exhaust. And that reason is there needs to be a balance, right? So what happens if you mix vents with like a power vent, you get a short circuit. So when the power vent turns on, rather than pulling the air across the attic and out of the peak, it turns the ridge vent into an intake instead of an exhaust. Therefore, it only ventilates about a few feet of the attic area instead of the whole attic area. So another important thing is keeping the attic ventilated in the wintertime. It's frequently overlooked, and we've also seen people covering their vents in the winter to keep the heat in, and please do not do that. That is very bad. So the issue is the warm air migrates to the attic and creates moisture and condensation underneath the cold roofing deck. And if this is kind of like a concern of yours, you can always install more insulation and things of that nature. But most power vents have this thing called a built-in humidistat. And so when the humidity in the attic reaches a certain level, it automatically turns on for you. Gotcha. So that's a cool little feature of that.
Yeah. Pardon the pun. What maybe we ought to explain why you need roof vents to begin with. There may be folks that don't even know the answer to that.
Sure. So, kind of like the main purpose of the roof vent is to keep that attic ventilated, because you don't need that stagnant air in there and you don't need the heat in there. You need it to constantly be ventilating, right? So that everything else can be working properly. And that comes with having the good installation, right? So, things like that. Or an issue with that is if you have the moisture in there, it can create things like mold, and then you potentially have all of those other issues. So keeping a dry surface is what you need to go with.
So if my HVAC unit is not cooling properly, it could be a ventilation problem in my attic. Correct.
Potentially.
Yeah. Right. So that may be another reason why I need to have you out to check that out. That makes sense. So let's talk about, we talked about residential roofs. Let's talk about commercial. Sure. You do a lot of commercial roofing. That's a kind of a big subject. Let's talk about what's involved there.
Okay. So we originally started out with our company doing commercial and then geared more towards residential. We still do commercial projects and we love them. We have our certifications for everything with commercial, the GAF, the Versico, the PTO. So one of the main points that they defer, that was interesting for me is, with a flat roof, a commercial roof, you normally have 2 layers, right? And this roof is locked, kind of like can act as a swimming pool. You know, if you don't have your gutters and your drains working properly, so then you have the ponding water there. And a residential shingle roof is made for runoff water, so you have the 2 layers on that commercial roof, and that's typically code, right? Right. So when you're tearing off and fixing those types of roofs, you have to be very careful, because if you expose the installation underneath a flat roof, you're required to update it to the newest R code.
And that can be expensive, I assume.
Yes, that can add significantly to the price of the roof.
Which is why you better have a good roofer to do that for you, right?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And have a roofer who knows you only tear off as much as you can put back on in the day.
There you go.
So, yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, what kind of, I assume you do all sorts of roofs. I mean, we're talking about warehouses and retail stores and what have you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So talk about your clients, and maybe you said you're all over Atlanta, but do you serve anyone in the metro Atlanta area, or kind of what's the geography?
Yeah. So we primarily work with property managers, HOAs, and of course homeowners. So our property managers are all over Atlanta. So they have properties, in downtown Atlanta. They have properties out here. They have properties literally all over, and we will go where you need us.
Gotcha.
But yeah, primarily the property managers and HOAs are who we do normally do most of our business with.
Okay. And Elizabeth, let's talk about, I'd love it if you maybe share a success story, that a situation or a client story that is illustrative of the great work you do.
Yeah. Let's see. We get a lot of fun, interesting, I guess, repair stories of, it's just always good, or a nice feeling, when we get that feedback of, oh my goodness, you guys have helped us out tremendously. I remember I was in the office, filling in for our office manager, and on the phone there is a lady who is, very emotional, because her entire ceiling had just collapsed in on her bedroom from a roof leak.
That would make me emotional too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've actually had that happen in my childhood home. So I could sympathize with her as well, but it was just, very refreshing to be able to go out and help her and just have, our great estimator and our great customer service be able to calm her nerves and assure her that we were going to get her taken care of like family, really. So,
right.
And then she called back, and I think she talked to, Stephanie, our office manager, for about 40 minutes on the phone. We learned her entire life story of her grandkids and her kids and what they did. So it was just a very nice experience.
So you provide therapy for your clients, it sounds like. I'm being funny, but no, sometimes you have to take the time.
For sure.
With clients, right?
For sure.
And that's pretty awesome work that you're doing.
We try and make everybody feel as relaxed and comfortable and treat them like family. Like our property managers, if they need us to directly call a tenant for them, you got it. Like, we're going to call that tenant. You don't have to worry about it. That's what we're here for, and we understand the significance of the roof, right? It protects you, your family, your work, your place of work. Like, it's important. So we want to make sure that you're in good hands with a roofing company like us.
Wow. Great work from Elizabeth Warren, folks, with Tower Roofing. Elizabeth, this has been great.
Yes.
What terrific work you do.
Thank you.
We've got to get to the most important question is, for those that would like to be in touch, let's tell them how they can do that.
Yeah. Head on to our website. We have so many different means of contact there. Our main email is towerroofing@towerroofinginc.com. You can fill out a request form. You can give us a call. There's always somebody there to answer the phone for you.
Terrific. Elizabeth Warren, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder, if you're looking for a new and different way to have a team building exercise, head over to asculinaryconcepts.com. I know that's not what you were expecting me to say, but it is a unique experience, and Executive Chef Andrew Traub and his folks do a fantastic job over there. I've been there for one of their big green egg boot camps, and it's a very similar setup to their corporate team building. Who knew that standing around a stainless steel table, seasoning meat and cutting up vegetables could be so much fun as a group? But it is. It's a lot of fun. So go to their website, asculinaryconcepts.com, or give them a call, 678 336-9196 and tell them we sent you. And folks, just a quick reminder, North Fulton Business Radio is on all the major podcast apps. We would love it if you're not already a subscriber to subscribe to the show. And when you hear a show that you particularly love the guest and would like to share that guest with a friend or an associate, please do so, because that's why we're here. That's why we have this show. We're here to celebrate business leaders like Elizabeth and the great work they do. So if you could help us in that regard, we would be grateful. So for my guest, Elizabeth Warren, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.